Get ready, because today we're diving into one of the most misunderstood, underestimated, and surprisingly collectible modern US coins ever struck. A coin that sparked controversy the moment it hit circulation, confused an entire nation, and quietly created a legacy that collectors are still chasing decades later. This is not just another dollar coin. This is a piece of history, a bold political statement in metal, and in the right condition, a hidden treasure sitting in plain sight. Let's uncover the story, the rarity, and the real value behind one of America's most talked about small dollars. 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with mint mark D. When the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar was released, it represented a historic first. For the first time in United States history, a real woman, not an allegorical figure, appeared on circulating U.S. coinage. Susan B. Anthony, the fearless suffragist who fought tirelessly for women's right to vote, was chosen to symbolize equality, reform, and national progress. Congress approved the design in 1978, and by 1979, the U.S. Mint launched the new small-size dollar coin with ambitious expectations. The Denver Mint struck an enormous number of these coins in 1979. The official mintage for the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar stands at approximately 288,015,744 pieces. That's nearly 288 million coins produced in a single year at the Denver facility. At first glance, those numbers might make the coin seem anything but rare. And in most circulated grades, that assumption is true. However, condition changes everything, and collector demand transforms even common coins into valuable collectibles. The coin was struck in a copper-nickel clad composition, the same metallic layering used for quarters and dimes of the era. It weighs 8.1 grams, measures 26.5 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge. The most controversial aspect of the coin was its size. At 26.5 millimeters, it was only slightly larger than a quarter. That similarity caused widespread confusion in everyday transactions. Americans frequently mistook the new dollar for a quarter, and vending machines often rejected it. The public backlash was swift, and the coin struggled in circulation almost immediately. Now let's examine the design in detail. On the obverse, you see a right-facing portrait of Susan B. Anthony. Designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, the portrait was based on a photograph taken in 1870. Anthony appears stern and determined, her hair pulled tightly back in a bun, reflecting her disciplined activism and relentless advocacy. The word liberty arches above her portrait. The date 1979 is positioned below, and the mint mark D appears just above Anthony's right shoulder, slightly to the viewer's left. In God We Trust is split on either side of her bust. The reverse carries a design adapted from the Apollo 11 mission insignia. An eagle descends toward the lunar surface, clutching an olive branch, symbolizing peace. Behind the eagle is the moon's surface, and in the background is Earth. Surrounding this imagery are the inscriptions United States of America and $1. The motto E pluribus unum appears above the eagle. The symbolism here is powerful. The obverse honors women's rights. The reverse celebrates American technological achievement and the peaceful exploration of space. It merges social progress with scientific triumph. Now, let's talk condition, specifically fine condition, which is central to understanding the coin's value. A 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar graded fine, often labeled F12 or F15, shows moderate wear. On the obverse, Susan B. Anthony's hair details are partially worn, especially above the ear and at the bun. The cheek and jawline exhibit flattening from circulation. Lettering remains clear, but sharpness is reduced. On the reverse, the eagle's breast feathers show smoothing, and some detail on the lunar surface is diminished. However, major design elements remain visible and distinct. Because so many 1979 D dollars were minted, and because many were saved in rolls by collectors anticipating future appreciation, circulated examples in fine condition are extremely common. In today's market, a typical 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar in fine condition usually sells for between $2 and $4. That modest premium over face value reflects its collectability rather than rarity. So why is this coin even part of a most rare and valuable discussion? The answer lies in market behavior, condition rarity, and era varieties. While fine condition coins are abundant, high-grade uncirculated examples, particularly MS66 and above, are significantly scarcer. Most coins entered circulation and experience contact marks or wear. Finding pristine examples free from bag marks, abrasions, and luster breaks is much more difficult than the mintage suggests. For example, a 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar graded MS65 may sell for $10 to $20. In MS66, values can climb to $40 to $75 depending on eye appeal. At MS67, the price can jump into several $100s, and exceptional examples have sold for over $1,000 at auction. This dramatic increase shows how condition rarity drives value, even for coins with high original mintages. Then there are error coins, which add another layer of rarity and excitement. Common errors for the 1979 D include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and filled mint marks. A filled D mint mark occurs when grease or debris clogs the die, causing the mint mark to appear faint or partially missing. While minor filled mint marks may only add small premiums, dramatic examples can command $25 to $75 depending on severity. Off-center strikes are more visually dramatic. A 10% to 20% off-center 1979 D dollar retaining a full date can sell for $75 to $150. More extreme off-center examples can bring even higher prices. Double strikes, where the coin is struck twice by the dies, can reach several $100s depending on clarity and eye appeal. There are also broad strikes, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing it to expand beyond normal diameter. These error types typically sell in the $100 to $250 range depending on condition. It's important to clarify that unlike the 1979 P wide rim variety, which is a recognized and valuable subtype, the 1979 D does not have a major, widely recognized hub variety that significantly increases value in standard circulation grades. This makes the Denver issue more straightforward, but also more dependent on grade and error status for premium pricing. Collector interest in the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar has steadily grown over the years. Initially dismissed and even ridiculed, the coin has gained appreciation as a symbol of cultural progress. It represents the first small-sized dollar coin of the modern era and the first real woman honored on circulating U.S. currency. Another factor driving interest is the coin's short production window. Although first issued in 1979, the series was suspended after 1981 due to poor circulation performance. It was briefly revived in 1999 to meet vending machine demand before the introduction of the Sacagawea dollar in 2000. That limited time frame makes the Susan B. Anthony series concise and appealing for collectors building complete date and mint sets. The 1979 D is essential to any complete set. Because of its high mintage, it is often the entry point for new collectors. Its affordability makes it accessible, while its historical importance keeps it relevant. Let's also consider the broader economic context. In the late 1970s, the United States faced inflation, energy crises, and shifting social dynamics. Introducing a new dollar coin was partly an attempt to reduce reliance on paper currency, which wore out quickly. However, the public's resistance to change and the coin's confusing similarity to the quarter led to its limited adoption. Banks accumulated large stockpiles of unused coins. As a result, many remained in Federal Reserve vaults for years. This oversupply explains why circulated examples remain plentiful today. Yet time changes perception. Modern collectors are increasingly interested in transitional eras of U.S. coinage. The Susan B. Anthony dollar bridges the gap between the large Eisenhower dollar of the 1970s and the golden-toned Sacagawea and presidential dollars of the 2000s. It marks the beginning of the modern small dollar experiment. When evaluating a 1979 D in fine condition today, the coin's real value lies less in its price and more in its historical narrative. It tells the story of ambition, miscalculation, innovation, and reform. It represents both technological capability and cultural progress. From a strict investment standpoint, Fine condition examples are unlikely to experience dramatic price growth due to the massive surviving population. However, exceptionally preserved rolls stored in original bank wrappers could still yield high-grade coins capable of certification and strong premiums. Collectors often search through bulk quantities hoping to find high-end mint state coins overlooked for decades. The thrill of the hunt keeps demand steady. Authentication and grading by major services like PCGS or NGC become important once a coin approaches MS66 or higher. Slabbed high-grade examples provide assurance and stronger resale value. Ultimately, the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar in fine condition may not be rare in a traditional sense. But rarity in numismatics isn't always about low mintage. It's about survival rates, grade distribution, historical significance, and collector psychology. And this coin has all of that. It stands at the crossroads of American history. It honors a pioneer of civil rights. It reflects a bold but flawed economic experiment. It carries the imagery of lunar exploration and peaceful progress. It experienced public rejection, yet survived as a collectible. Today, what was once pocket change is now a symbol. For new collectors, it's an affordable gateway into US dollar coinage. For seasoned numismatists, it's a reminder that even high mintage coins can hide surprising value in top grades or rare error forms. And for historians, it's a metal monument to Susan B. Anthony's enduring legacy. So the next time you come across a 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar, especially one worn to a smooth fine condition, don't dismiss it as ordinary. Look closer. Examine the details. Consider its journey through decades of commerce and controversy. Because in every scratch, every softened detail, and every reeded edge lies a story of change, challenge, and American evolution. And sometimes, the most overlooked coins carry the most powerful history of all.